So good evening, everybody. Welcome to the webinar on Antyodaya Saral, Ensuring Last Mile Service Delivery for Citizens by Mr. Utkarsh Vijay. Utkarsh Vijay is the Vice President at Samagra, a mission-driven governance consulting firm. He currently leads Samagra's engagement with the government of Odisha on institutionalizing data-backed decision-making in the agriculture and allied sector. He has been with Samagra for more than 5 years, starting his journey with a project on streamlining public service delivery in Haryana. This project, called Antyodaya Saral, has won the prestigious President's Award for Best Service Delivery Transformation and benefited more than 2.7 crore residents of Haryana. Before Samagra, Utkarsh worked with the Indus Valley Partners and Boston Consulting Group and co-founded a legal tech startup. He holds a bachelor's degree in computer science engineering from NIT Jalandhar. Welcome, Utkarsh. Floor is over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. So what I can do is I can quickly give a brief about my organization, Samagra.
Yeah.
2-3 minutes brief, 5 minutes brief on that, and then we can jump into the topic of the day. So Samagra is a mission-driven governance consulting firm. What does our mission says? Our mission says that we want to improve the quality of life of citizens through better governance. Now, quality of life if we divide this sentence to improve the quality of life of citizens through better governance, there are 2-3 key words over here, key phrases. Quality of life. Now, quality of life is something, it makes us sector agnostic. So anything and everything that impacts the life of the citizen or the quality of life of citizens is under our purview, and that is what we work on. So could be education, could be health, could be industries as well, could be agriculture. So anything that is under the sun that impacts the citizen. The second is through better governance. So all our work, 100% of our work is quote unquote with the system, which means that we work only with the governments at the state level or at the government of India level or the federal level. Why so? Because we feel that while there are other players or other factors, dimensions of the ecosystem, which we typically call as Samaj, Sarkar, Bazaar. So Samaj and Bazaar is something that someone else is taking care of. We chose Sarkar as our key lever of change. So we feel that with Sarkar, impact at scale can be created, and we can impact millions of citizens, even if the needle moves little bit, right? So that's broadly our mission. How did we start? In 2012, our founder and CEO Gaurav, he left McKinsey. So he did his engineering from IIT Delhi, then masters from IIM Calcutta, worked for McKinsey for 4 years, and left McKinsey just in the quest of impact at scale, and doing something for the citizens. He traveled across the country. I think he almost visited every state during that stint for 6 months. Saw the best model of governance on the ground, and that's where he decided to start Samagra. In our initial version or avatar, Samagra was working largely with the MPs on the ground to improve or bring about the holistic development of the constituency, and that's where the word or the name Samagra comes from. So we wanted to holistically develop constituencies, but in 2015, after working for 2-3 years, we have worked with a lot of good MPs in those 3 years. After working with the MPs, the model pivoted towards working with the state governments largely. And why state governments? Because in India, the way the entire governance system is structured, while Government of India lays down a lot of frameworks and a lot of guidelines, it's the state government which is at the center of or at the I would say the action is at the state level, because they can create strategies and then they can get it implemented through the district officials that they have on their roles. So Hence, 90% of our work, if you would see, is mostly with the state governments, because we also feel that if India has to transform, it has to transform state by state by state. It cannot happen once for the entire country. So that's primarily about Samagra. Uh, about my journey with Samagra, ma'am, you have already told about it, but just bringing out two, three key points about my journey. So I started in 2017 when we were what 15 member team, 15, 17 member team. And now it's a 120 member team that we have created. Uh, we take I started off with the program in Haryana. I was managing Digital Haryana Cell in the CM office, and I'd be speaking about one of the project that we did under this program, Digital Haryana Cell, Antyodaya Saral. After a couple of years, once the program reached a certain milestone, I moved to Odisha, where I've been working with agriculture and allied sector. Focus was initially to build a strong data layer in the state, so that all the decisions within the governments are data backed. Last year, the focus, so this part of the program was called Adapt. Now the program is called Connect, where we are connecting the farmers to the best service providers in the country. So the entire ecosystem is coming together, be it banks, be it seed suppliers, be it extension providers. How to bring them together and provide best of the best services to the farmers is the goal of the engagement. While doing so, so my portfolio in the firm has also expanded with all of this. I'm also I'm looking at other two, three programs in governance related to service delivery, scheme delivery in UP, something related to, and one key thing that I'm also looking at is called Samagra X. Samagra X is our brand under which we house all our GovTech and data gov work. So we are working uh, on a lot of open source technologies. We are creating a lot of open source product and platform that can be leveraged by the governments for various outcomes that they would want to achieve. One key thing under Samagra X that is happening is called digital public goods. All of us have heard about UPI, how UPI is being taken up by Singapore, France, etc. That's because of the nature and how UPI has been built. It can be transferred as an asset from one place to another. And these are typically called digital public goods in the governance world. What we are working on towards is, right now we are working on three digital public goods. One is Universal Learner Passport, which is a verifiable credential for learners in the country. So from early childhood education till the time you enter your job, all the credentials stored in one wallet, and then the ecosystem enabling various opportunities for you is what we are working on. The second, and this is a product that can be picked up by any state and can be implemented very, very quickly. Right now we are working with UP government to enable it for almost 6 crore students in UP. The second is called Vidya Samiksha Kendra. Vidya Samiksha Kendra is a product which enables the monitoring of education system in the state. So all the KPIs that the administrators have to look at are being consolidated in one product. It's and so that it becomes easy for them to engage with the data. The other part of this is what we call as decentralized observability, where each person in the government system is saying that I am my own monitor. I can see my data and I can act accordingly. So that's the second DPG that we are building. The third one is around improving the capacities of nurses and paramedical staff in the country. So that's another type of work that we do under Samagra. So one is the core consulting work, which I told you about in the first phase, and the second is Samagra X. Uh, just by the virtue of me having a tech background and also a good consulting background, I am at a vantage point where I can see I'm looking at both sides of the thing. So yeah, that's briefly about me. Uh, what we'll be talking about today is Antyodaya Saral. Antyodaya Saral is a public service delivery program that we executed or implemented in Haryana. There are two, three key highlights of this program. One is the scale at which the program was implemented. And this is not only the citizen side scale, it is also within the government how 30, 40 departments can be brought together to deliver the best of the best services to the citizens. That's one. The second is how internal tech capacity of the government can be augmented or can be leveraged to create a platform which is serving the citizens well, and it is serving them well till date. So these are the two key highlights, and then what I'll do is I can just start with my presentation. I'll take roughly 20-25 minutes to cover the 20 minutes, 25 minutes to cover the presentation, and then I can take questions of any type. Yeah. I hope my screen is visible. Cool. So all of us have heard about ration cards, how ration cards get issued, and I'm sure most of you would have gotten your driving licenses issued in recent past, and you would have gone through. In some cases, it would have been a good experience. In most of the cases, it would not have been so good experience, and you would be like, agents ke paas jana padta hai, ye karna padta hai, wo karna padta hai. There's no clarity. This story, this entire program is around how we transformed that experience for 2.7 crore citizens in Haryana. Let's look at the problems that the citizens face while they are dealing with the government systems, right? So if I talk about schemes and services, for the first and foremost question is, where can I get a scheme and services? The second question that comes to my mind is, even when I know where to get a scheme and services, how can I fill my application? The application forms are so complex that it becomes a hassle. Once, even when I have taken, let's say, help to complete my application and apply for it, the other question that comes to my mind is, now where is my application? Who is dealing with what? Are the people acting upon it or not? The other questions that are there in the citizen's mind is, what are the schemes that are available right now? Am I even eligible for it or not? So this seems like a mesh for the citizens where they are caught up. So right. The second is, while we know the citizen side of it, what I would also want to tell you is the government side is also not very, very good. The government officials' life is not as comfortable or as easy as we will imagine it to be. So they are managing applications from various sources. Someone is coming and giving them applications on paper. Someone is coming and giving them application online. So it's coming on paper, it's coming online. So how to track all of this, how to manage all of this becomes a hassle. Now, where are the various, if let's say I am at the state level or a district level administrator, and then there are multiple folks working under me, at which point are these applications stuck? Whom to call up is again a challenge for them. There is lot of public dealing that they do. They have to do because there are no set mechanisms for it, and which these public dealings can be avoided or minimized to a certain extent, but they are not able to do at the moment, at least when we started. And then which team member to be held accountable for a particular delay, etc., is not very clear in the government system. And then finally, whenever we take a flight, right, we get the feedback form from Indigo, from Air India, or however the services, and that helps them in improving their services. But the officials don't have any such mechanisms where they're understanding how the citizens are feeling. Right. So they don't even understand if the citizens are satisfied, even when they have given a good service to the citizen. So with this background, in 2017, while we were working in Digital Haryana Cell, the Chief Minister called us and said that he would want to solve both sides of the problem, the demand side and the supply side of the problem. And this was June 2017, when we decided that we'll get onto a program called Antyodaya Saral, which would be transforming scheme and service delivery in Haryana. This was a CM mandate and was driven through Chief Minister's office itself. And as I mentioned, this was done under Digital Haryana Cell, which was a team of 4 or 5 professionals from Samagra, sitting and working alongside the officers in CM office to make this entire Antyodaya Saral vision possible. Now, just touching upon the landscape, right? From the government side, there are, and for the citizens, there are more than 550 plus schemes and services across 36 government departments that are there, right? That were there at that point in time in Haryana. Now, what is the distinction between schemes and services? Schemes are generally where the citizens get certain kind of benefits. It could be a monetary benefit, it could be an in-kind benefit. The example could be, it could be scholarship, it could be some kind of direct income transfer that the government is enabling for the farmers. It could be insurance as well. So these are the kind of schemes. The services on the other side are authorization or validation by the government through and it helps you in proving certain points in your life. So for example, a birth certificate is a service, a ration card is a service, a driving license which allows you to drive on the roads of country is a service. So that's how we divided the entire landscape, and these belong to 36 different departments in the state. Now, when we started off this program, Antyodaya Saral, there were 3 ways that were envisaged for availing any scheme and services for the citizen. One was at my fingertip or at home or on my mobile phone, which is just understanding, applying for these schemes and services online. The second was, what is the nearest point to me where I can go and apply? And that's where Government of India scheme called Common Service Center held. There were 6,000 common service centers which were authorized by Government of Haryana. So we said that within a parameter of 2 to 5 kilometers of anyone's house, these schemes and services would be available for application. And then the third one was that while I can apply at home, while there are common service center, we should also have state-of-the-art facilities of the government, almost like a passport seva kendra, which becomes more authentic for the citizens to apply for these schemes and services. And there was 115 such centers that were envisaged at that point in time. So I'll deep dive into each one of them. Now, to bring all of this together, the program was divided into 2 parts, or the work started on 2 fronts. One was an online platform and the other one was citizen touchpoints. The online platform, so the thought was, there are so many platforms in the state. There's so many portals, some work, some don't work. Why not bring all the schemes and services on one single platform and call it an Antyodaya Saral online platform? Now, bringing all of these schemes and services is an Herculean task. Why? Because there are certain departments who have already digitized their services, or their departments whose services are already online, including the processes at the backend. Then there are certain departments whose services are partially online, which means that they don't have a citizen facing system, but they have a backend database wherein they're digitizing all the applications that are coming in. And then there are departments which are completely offline. So we did this landscape study in Haryana to understand the tech maturity of various schemes and services and map them into L0, L1, L2, L3 level. L0 being completely offline, L1 being wherever the backend databases existed, L2 being partially online, and L3 is Saral ready. What does Saral ready mean? We'll come to that in a while. Now, this part until now is okay, but how to build that platform, how to build such a big platform in the government. So what we did after studying the entire landscape of technology options that were available, we explored one option with Government of India, which is called Service Plus. Service Plus is a platform which allows onboarding of existing schemes and services on the portal with an integrated experience, and also creating workflows for offline schemes. So schemes which don't have any online platform, you can configure just like a Google form. You can go on and configure your workflows on the Service Plus platform. Now, once this platform was finalized, a team was assembled to do this. So there were almost 10 team members from Government of India which were working on this. There were 20 team members from NIC Haryana that were working on this. And there were specific nodal officers from each of these departments who got onboarded to work on Service Plus platform and bring all of this together. Now, there are almost, if you can see, 130, 150 members in this entire thing. So micro coordination from CM office became very, very important. So there were daily coordination WhatsApp groups. So we had at that point in time, when I left Haryana, I was part of almost 120 groups in Haryana. There were groups with all the districts. There were groups with all the departments. There were internal groups. There were external groups. So but all the updates were flowing through these WhatsApp groups on daily basis. There were weekly reviews by SIO, State Information Officer, in the state of the tech teams that were working on it. There were weekly VCs that were conducted with NIC Government of India to make sure that their base platform is working well. And then there were fortnightly reviews by the CM office themselves for all these teams, both administratively as well as technically. Now, in record time, almost in a year or so, we were able to get 526 schemes and services on one single platform with 5 things enabled for each and every scheme and services. One is citizens can come online and apply for these schemes and services. Second, they can track the status where the application is pending. Third, they were getting proactive status SMS. Almost like second and third, I can give an analogy of Amazon. The way we can track where our package is on Amazon, the citizens were able to track where the applications were, and at every moment every movement of the application, they were also getting SMS. The fourth and fifth were a little on the officer side. There were review dashboards that were available for all these 526 schemes and services, and there were periodic notification that were going to officials on the pendency that is there under them. The second part of this program was citizen touchpoint, and as I touched upon that, the 3 ways were envisaged: home, village, ward, or near to home, and then government center. So home enabled through the tech platform that we did. Common Service Center is we mobilized these 6,000 Common Service Center. We created their logins. We connected with their SSOs, etc. that exist. SSO is single sign-on. So all of that, and connected the platform through their wallets so that they can provide a seamless experience to the citizen. The third one is what I will deep dive into. So for enabling these 115 Saral Kendra, what we did was we conceptualized a standardized citizen-centric layout for these 115 Kendras. As you can see, there are entry points. Then once the entry is done, then there is a help desk or token center, token provider. Then there is a waiting area. Then once the wait is over or a token number is there, they can go to the counters and avail the services. And once done, they can exit through the same entrance. So that's how the standard experience was conceptualized, and what were the results like. So this is one of the Saral Kendra from Kurukshetra. This is how the windows look like. The Saral counter single window look like. These are the kind of waiting areas that were created in the Antyodaya Saral Kendra. There were token systems, token generators, token system that was enabled in the Saral Kendra. So everyone who is entering will get a token number, and whenever their number comes, they will reach to the windows. These were the operator side where everything was cleaned up. There were 5 or 6 operators in each of the Saral Kendra with a printer, with a photocopier, with their machines, etc., and then providing the services to the citizens. How did we achieve this? So while Digital Haryana Cell was working with the CM office, Digital Haryana Cell also supplemented the efforts of Digital Haryana Cell were supplemented on ground by something called Chief Minister's Good Governance Associate. So in Haryana, there is a fellowship that the Chief Minister's office run. There are 22 associates in each of the 22 districts. What was created was an exhaustive tracker to check the quality of these Saral Kendra, and on a weekly basis, the CMGGA, the associates on the ground, used to fill these trackers to understand whether the revamp is complete or not for the Kendra, whether there are signages that have been put or not, whether the citizens are able to locate it easily or not. So they had to ask the citizens who are coming to the Saral Kendra, were you able to locate this easily or not? And then there were signages that were to be put on the entrance. There was entrance point. So this sheet almost contains 70-80 parameters. 60 plus parameters, which were to be filled by the Chief Minister's Good Governance Associate on the ground. And on top of it, to solve any citizen query, a Saral helpline was established with 80 plus operators. So people can call the Saral helpline to understand about any scheme and services and the points where they can go and apply for these schemes and services. Now, work was completed in parallel on both of these two fronts, and it was a highly collaborative project where 30 departments, 22 districts, National Informatics Center, NIC, IT department, State e-governance mission team, CSC, SPV, Heartron, all of it came together. And this was facilitated by the CM office in Haryana, right? Now, while this is a very, very huge project, one important thing to note about the project is the launches of the project were phased so that there is no impatience within the government. When is it coming? When is it coming? Because they also need to announce something to the public, right? So the first launch was, or the introduction of Saral was happened in September 2017. Sorry, in something called Digital Haryana Summit by the then IT Minister, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad. The second launch happened on 25th December of 2017 with almost 100 schemes and services coming to the platform. The third launch happened on April 2018 with almost 200 schemes and services coming to the platform and some of the Saral Kendras getting activated. The final launch happened in December 2018 on Good Governance Day, 25th December. There were 526 schemes and services, 115 revamped Kendras, 6,000 common service centers, Saral helpline. There was an IVRS feedback system that was enabled, and there was a knowledge management system that was also enabled. So all the things, all the knowledge about the schemes and services was housed under one umbrella itself. Now, if we see how does the, if I were to see how does the life of the citizen looks today, so I'll say that I've listed down certain dimensions and parameters. On the awareness front, there is more awareness about schemes and services and how I can get these schemes and services. Extensive coverage of Saral happened on TV, radio, outdoor hoardings, etc. There's a 80-member helpline that was set up, and they answer almost 1 lakh plus queries on schemes and services every month. There have been 3 types of touch point, as I mentioned, that have been set up, and almost 5 lakh applications are received every month on these 3 touch points. On the convenience front, there is a help desk at the Saral Kendra and also a single window processing. So I don't have to go from one counter to another counter. I just go to one window, one counter, and all my work gets done over there. The government interface has minimized almost for 300 schemes and services. There is no interface that is required until and unless something like marriage certificate where a appointment with the SDM is required. You don't have to go and visit any government offices. There is constant SMS update that comes to the citizen. There are almost 15 lakh status update SMS that are sent to citizens every month. The tracking, as I was mentioning, it's almost like Amazon kind of tracking. So you can see that there are 4 steps for these schemes and services, and every step they get to know where is their application and what is the stipulated time of delivery of their application. And finally, there is an IVRS service or feedback management system that has been activated. Almost 1 crore calls have been made, and the citizen satisfaction is right now at 4.3 out of 5. If we were to see, just summarizing all of this, so awareness is increased, helpline is there, touch points, 5 lakh applications are being received, lot of convenience, AC waiting area, single window facility, etc. Interfaces have reduced with the government departments, SMS update tracking is enabled, and the feedback overall is around 4.3 out of 5. If we see on the side of the government officials, because that's where we started from, what are the challenges that citizens are facing and what are the challenges that government officials are facing. On the processing front, there is 100% online processing that has been enabled. There's no need for physical files in any of the government offices. There is full visibility on each and every application, and there is something called Right to Service Act, under which the state mandates each and every department to deliver certain services within a certain stipulated time. 85% of the applications right now are being closed within the RTS timeline, and we are talking about crores of application in a year. So 85% is a good benchmark for the government. There are constant SMS updates that are going to district collectors, head of departments, and 900 field officers on what is the pendency under them and where the maximum pendency is. There's a accountability. So a Saral score, a composite Saral score has been created on which all the level of reviews happen. This is one photograph where the CM is reviewing the department's basis their Saral score. The public dealing has reduced, so there's another layer of application that has been created on Saral, where grievances can be filed online and can also be dealt online itself. So the citizens don't have to go to the officers and get their grievances resolved. So just summarizing, 100% online processing, 85% application under RTS. There are regular constant SMS updates going at each level, accountability through Saral score, and the public dealing reduced through online mechanism of handling grievances. Now, how has Saral transformed the scheme and service delivery in the state? So there is a 31% reduction in average processing time of the application just by the virtue of visibility that has been created and the accountability mechanisms that have been set. 85% applications are being processed within the timelines against a right to service. 40% increase in application post Saral. So because of the awareness, because of the ease, there has been 40% increase, and there is 89% increase in the income of average CSCs, because CSCs charge citizens to apply for schemes and services. The charges are nominal, 10-20 rupees, but that has contributed to almost 89% increase in their income as well. At a macro level, if I were to say, Antyodaya Saral was given Digital India Award by Honorable President in 2021. This is the best citizen service delivery program that was adjudged in 2021. And there's something called citizen-centric governance index that the government came up with. And Haryana is number 1 in that. And this is mostly on account of Antyodaya Saral that this has happened. Now, just to sum up the entire journey, what are the key principles that were followed in this entire journey? So there were tangible goals. So goals were very, very clear that all the services and schemes have to be brought online. There was a movement of sorts, or a mission mode operations or transformation that was conducted in the government. So that's the first principle. The second was citizen centricity. So all the solutions were designed keeping in mind what were the problems that the citizens are facing, and that's why I started off my presentation with the problems that the citizens used to face at that point in time. The third is holistic transformation. So it's not only bringing in technology or reforming technology. It's not only about transforming processes. It's not only about passing new policies. Everything and anything that is required to make system effective and efficient for better citizen delivery was part of this entire program. There was seamless integration. As I said, so it's in terms of technology, it is very, very simple to bring in a new solution and ask everyone to get onboarded on that new solution. But the change management is very, very tricky in the government. If I have been using a system for last 4 or 5 years, and if you ask me to change or switch from that system, it is really difficult to bring about that change in the government. And what we did with Saral is all these legacy, we gave an opportunity for the legacy systems to get integrated with Antyodaya Saral in the way they are, rather than forcing them to adopt a new system. And finally, momentum generation. So these phased launches that I told you about, 2017 first, December 2017 second, March, April 2018 third, and then April 2018, December 2018 fourth. So these kept the momentum high. Everyone was chasing the next goal that was set for them. and this momentum helped us in bringing about this entire thing. Because what we were a team of 4 or 5, we were actually a team of 3 individuals working in the CM office. There are a lot of departments, there are nodal officers, district officers who were involved in this, and they need to feel, they need to be feel they need to feel motivated towards working towards working towards this goal. And that's what we created. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.
Yes. Students, a very, very interesting analysis and story of, I wouldn't say story, but a journey of how you have digitized all the services in Haryana and available to date, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I have my questions, but I'll ask them later. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. Okay, then I'll start with my question first while they do this. You mentioned a Service Plus platform, right, which was used. So was this platform NIC platform, or is it a Samagra platform?
It at that point in time, it was an NIC platform. So there was this interesting story. So Panchayati Raj department was working towards at the central level. They wanted to bring all their schemes and services on one platform, and that's what they wanted to administer it to the entire country through that platform. There was a sub team. So NIC generally has verticals. So there are 4 or 5 people who are working with a particular department or a ministry. So out of those 4 or 5 people who were working with Panchayati Raj department, they got this idea that this is something that can be created in a very, very configurable way and can be used by any ministry as well. So they developed this platform internally. However, when we started, the platform wasn't very, very widely used. It was only being used for Panchayati Raj when we stepped in. With us, the platform has traversed a long journey of evolution. They have stabilized, they have created new features which are useful for everyone. They have created new configurations basis our recommendations and our demands. And now I think this Service Plus platform is powering service delivery in almost 7-8 states in the country.
Okay. Another thing you mentioned is that in your change management part, the existing departments were not made to change, right?
Yeah.
So you had an interface created.
Yes, so this is a very important part of this entire program. So I'll give you an example. So power supply units of the Haryana, they are called UHBVN and DHBVN. Let's take their example. They already had their full-fledged system where citizens can apply and their applications can be processed online itself. Now, and the system existed for some 6-7 years in 2017, which meant that all their officers were well acquainted with this system. Now, if we as a program would have told them that we are creating new workflows, we are creating new system for you, it would have become a nightmare for managing this change management. And right now I'm giving example of one department. There were almost 10-15 departments of such sort. So what we did was that your system runs as is, but there is an API integration between the two systems, the Service Plus system and your system. Citizens will come on Service Plus, they will apply, they will get the form, whatever form is there on your platform, that is configured on Service Plus Saral platform. And once they apply through API, the entire data will flow into your system. And whenever application processing is happening from one step to another. The data is coming back to Saral through APIs itself, and that streamlined this entire change management.
Right. Yeah. Sarthak, do you have a question?
Yeah, so I have a question about something related to what you just described. So whenever there are two departments within the government involved, and there is some sort of integration and some data that you can just get from one department and use it for the benefit of the citizens so that they don't have to go to another department to get it done. And it requires some sort of legislative changes also. So did you tackle with any of that? Did you have to make any GRs or to make that possible to improve? So when any process when you're doing the BPR for that, if you identify some policy issue, was it tackled then and there effectively?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So while studying the processes of any schemes and services, if we thought that these processes are not good processes or something can be done to further streamline the experience of the citizens, we recommended changes in the workflows as well. We recommended where the data can be brought from, how the workflow should be tweaked so that it becomes much simpler for the citizens. So, for example, whenever these caste certificate and income certificates are generated, the patwaris on the ground, they go on the ground, and then they have to file a report to the SDM or the Tehsildar that this is the particular caste, or this is the income of this family. Now, what used to happen is while Revenue Department already had an online platform which was called e-District at that point in time, and which meant that as a citizen I can come and I can apply online, but that meant that I have to liaison with the Patwari before, have to get that certificate before from the Patwari and submit it, which didn't make sense. That before even applying, I am initiating the process on the ground, and that process is complete black box for everyone. I don't know what Patwaris will charge. I don't know how much time Patwaris will take. So that kind of a process re-engineering happened, where what we said is you come, you apply online. The first hop of the application is towards Patwaris. Patwaris will get tabs on which they would have to process this application, and that was the kind of policy change that we got into, that let's recognize Patwari step as a actual step in the entire workflow.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
I
Vijay.
have a question particularly with respect to the governance aspect of it. So for instance, if citizen avails service, the way the data is captured in different departments in the government would be different. So you take two same revenue information from two different districts or two different ULBs, the way they capture it would be different. So what are the steps that you have taken? I mean, what are the roadblocks did you face, and how did you tackle them?
So just to clarify, if we are talking about one department, the data structures don't change from district to district. So Revenue Department will have a common platform for all the 22 districts in the state. And so there's a data structure for Revenue Department, and then there is a data structure for, let's say, Social Justice Department. One good case that you brought up is ULBs, because ULBs are autonomous bodies on the ground, and they have their own systems in some sense also. So over here, what was done is through ULB department, which is the nodal department at the state level, there were certain mandates that were issued to the ULBs. So the mandates were such that you can have whatever systems that you would want to, but the system should adhere to these data structures or these kind of data compliances that you need to do, so that these services can ultimately be brought onto Antyodaya Saral platform. And there is a unified experience across all the ULBs. At least the forms, etc., can be different across ULBs, but for analytics purposes, for tracking of application purposes, these are the 5, 6, 10 common data points that everyone has to have.
Okay.
Thanks.
So, but that was probably a challenging task, right?
Absolutely.
Get them to do it. I mean,
Getting ULBs to do anything is a very, very tough challenge because they are not attuned right now to be citizen centric. They have their own agendas. It is politically, lot of influence on through politics is there. The property tax, they don't have income sources as such. The property tax collections are really, really weak on the ground. Whatever the money that is going from the state is largely being used for paying the salaries of the staff that they have put in. So it's a challenge to work with ULBs in some sense, right? The other challenge that I can say is there's a lot of, so these department coordination, etc. Even while working with the CM office, there's a lot of resistance from the departments as well. So at lot of time it was almost a give and take. I remember at that point, I mean, those 2 years, I think I have taken so many Uber rides from one department to another department just to make sure that they understand the vision, just to make sure that they align to our vision. Sometimes out of the 10 let's say there's a checklist of 10 points, I used to go and negotiate that you do 8, 2 dekh lenge baad mein, we'll do 2 later on. So it's almost like a negotiation that happens. And while CM office has a very, very strong push, right? But then there are certain things that you have to take care of without even the pushes of the CM office, because you don't want to rub off someone so much that they will stop listening to you. So there are a lot of give and take that happens during these collaborations as well.
right.
One another example of this collaboration is, so one of my colleague used to work day in and day out with NIC. Now she used to be in thicks and thins of the things and whatever is happening in NIC. Now, one challenge that used to come to us is, while the CM office is reviewing this entire program, we have to paint a clear picture to them. We cannot hide certain things, right? So that's where certain challenges come in, that we have to be truthful. We have to show the right picture in whenever these reviews are going, and we also have to tell what are the challenges that NIC is facing or certain person in NIC is facing to deliver on them. So we have to strike a balance. Overall, it cannot be a stick always.
Right. And has this type, I mean, you put in a lot of effort in 2 years, has this been replicated in any other state, in any other place, even partially, or?
Yeah, so not by us, but multiple other states have gotten onto this journey. So, for example, Karnataka has got on all their schemes and services on Service Plus platform. There are multiple northeastern state. Assam is, I think, right now doing it, bringing everything on one portal. The work that I'm doing in agriculture, all the schemes and services across agriculture, fisheries, livestock, and agri entrepreneurship. And also the ancillary services like electricity connection, pollution clearances, etc., have also been brought onto one single platform, which is called GoSugam in Odisha. So almost 55 schemes and services across for one complete sector are on one platform, and are being delivered through these similar mechanisms where they can come to the block offices, can go to the Mo Seva Kendra, and can also apply online.
So one last question from me, but is the Service Plus platform a DPG, a digital public good? Because you said it's NIC, right? So yeah.
So I think they would have to do certain things to make it DPG. The code needs to be available in open source in let's say on GitHub to make it a DPG, and then there are certain guidelines or adherences that they have to follow. But I think if they would want to, it is a simple enough journey for them to make sure that it is considered as a DPG.
Yeah, but as of now, being NIC and being India, any state can use it, right? So in the Indian context, it's available.
Yes, absolutely. And most of the states, if you see revenue services, revenue department services, these caste certificate, income certificate, land record registration, etc., there are many states who are already leveraging Service Plus only for these schemes and services.
Okay, right. Uh, does anybody else have a question? Chirayu, would you like to?
Yeah, Gayatri, can I?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Utkarsh, hi, this is Mercy Samuel. I am one of the faculty members at the department. So I wanted to ask one thing that Service Plus is designed and so who runs the show for Service Plus?
So Service Plus as a platform, there is a team in Government of India, NIC team, which runs the show. So they are the core builders of Service Plus platform. But then the model that we followed was a little different from other states. What we did was we picked up the entire Service Plus code base and we deployed it on our servers. How typically the states do it is that there's a single version that is hosted where the citizens can go and select their states, and that the state specific schemes and services are available on that platform. What we did was a slightly different, and while Government of India is the owner, Government of India NIC is the owner. Back then in 2017, we co-worked with them to evolve the entire platform.
Okay. So whatever model you followed, is it currently being practiced?
Yes, absolutely. So there are multiple states. If you, I'll just drop the link of Service Plus over here. If you just go on the website, you'll find that there are lot of states who have already onboarded their services on Service Plus. So now the portal says that there are 36 states that have been onboarded, 2,900 services have been launched, and there are roughly 20 crore applications that they have gotten. So it's a huge platform right now.
Right. So if we want a data, a particular kind of a variable in that data to be seen at a national level, so would that coherence is there in the system?
It would be tough. It would be tough for them because so they also have analytics dashboard. They can of course do all the analytics, but they go through a due process. And one key tenet of their working is they will not join one state's data to another state's data. So that's kind of a Chinese wall that they have built in within their system. So.
But if the union government wants to see it, they can do that.
They can. There are still restrictions on that as well.
Okay.
Because there are few state subjects which the state wouldn't want to show to the federal government. But yes, of course, if they want, they can see it.
Okay. Thanks much. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Right. So does anybody else have? Otherwise, I would like to, I think Chirayu is having some problems. He's unable to unmute himself. So, but he would like to thank you on behalf of the faculty. And thank you very much for giving us this wonderful presentation and insights into Antyodaya Saral and citizen-centric services. You know, this is something which the Faculty of Management and the students, they all are studying the Masters in Urban Management. So as a part of that, this is what they work with. They have studios, they go into the field, they try and work on it. And incidentally, I think 21, we had a studio on service operations where we worked on studying the citizen service centers of Ahmedabad.
Okay.
So, you know, there are lots of things, and I'm sure you have an idea about all the things that the students are learning in our program, especially as you have a student with you, working with you in Samagra.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Utkarsh, and hope to be connected in future for some more interactions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Pleasure was mine. We'll looking forward to more such interactions.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, especially with your busy schedule. Yeah. We had some tough time scheduling it, but yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.